Excuse my absence. I meant to post a video on Thursday or Friday saying that I wouldn't be able to post for a few days since I'd be out of town. I went to Ottawa on Friday. Yeah, so I meant to post the video on Thursday night, Friday, very early morning. I didn't end up posting because I forgot to pack earlier, and by the time I finished packing, it was way too late, and I just didn't have time to record a video and post it. Unfortunate, but that's what happens. Obviously, I'm still trying to be consistent. I really don't want to miss any video, but I don't want to sacrifice sleep either. I think sleep is one of the highest priorities I have in my life. So between sleep and posting one more video, I chose sleep. Yeah, I'll still be consistent in the future, and I'll try to have that in mind that I'm gonna have to post a video, so I have to plan things beforehand, make sure that I'm ready earlier in the night. That way I have time to post the video. I was even considering, I mentioned this earlier, that I could just post in the afternoon since I don't really have work going on. I don't have much work going on, and my schedule's very flexible. And I would have natural lighting. It's just, I don't, I think a bit during the day. I think a lot during the day, but it's really soothing to voice my thoughts at night and have a culmination of the day, a summary of what happened, of what I've been thinking throughout the entire day. It feels more relaxing this way. Maybe tomorrow I can try it out, see how it will go. Not too sure. We will see. So, right, I wanted to say that I'm going to be posting a podcast soon that I made with my friend on, I believe it was Wednesday. Oh, no, it was the Thursday. I believe it was the Thursday. I think that's part of the reason I didn't have too much time to prepare for going to Ottawa for my trip, my little camping trip that I had. So hopefully I'll be posting that tomorrow. I just have to review it and maybe cut off a bit of the end or the start. I might just post the complete raw footage of it. I'm not too sure what I'll do, but I'll give it a quick check and hopefully it'll be posted by tomorrow. So, on that note, on the podcasting note, I bought two mics. I don't think I mentioned this. I got them, I think on Thursday. Everything happened on Thursday. And I tested them out, and the first time they worked well. The one mic worked well, so I didn't test the other. And then just now I tried to make this video with one of those mics, and the first mic wasn't working. And so I tried the adapter, and that didn't work either. It wasn't showing up. And then I tried it on my laptop, and then it showed up, but it was super staticky. You could barely hear me over the static. And then I thought, okay, well, I'll try the other one. And same thing, that it wouldn't appear or there would be too much static. And I tried with the adapter and without the adapter. And it was a solid 30 minutes of troubleshooting and I got nowhere with it. So I'm going to return those. I ordered another set of mics. Two mics. Hopefully they work. We'll test them out by Wednesday. This is so stupid. Oh well, I I didn't think it'd be this much of a pain to get mics that actually work. But then again, I'm not going for super expensive mics. I just want mics that work, and maybe I should increase my budget by a little bit. But we'll see after these mics, after testing these new mics, these two new mics. Right, so I mentioned at the start of the video that I did a little trip to Ottawa, and that was because I'm going to Carleton University. Yay! So my friend Kevin is going to Carleton. Already is at Carleton, and I was talking with him a bit. He showed me around campus a few months ago, and I just asked him general questions about Carleton. And then he invited me to join engineering frosh. So I was a bit hesitant at first since I'd be going into computer science, I'd be transferring to computer science. So I thought, well, okay, I'm CS, so I can't go into Eng Frosh. That makes no sense. Oh no, you can't. You actually can't. It doesn't matter what faculty you're in, you can participate. As long as you're a Carleton student and you're above first year. Alright, cool. Sign me up. Turns out the staff, the administration, this year specifically decided actually all other faculties than engineering are not allowed to do this, so we'll be rescinding all of those offers. And we'll continue with EngFrosh, but I'm no longer invited. There was massive backlash because there was a bunch of people that weren't from engineering that participate in EngFrosh. So then they backed on their um they canceled. How do I even describe I'm forgetting the word. There's a word for this. They went back on their word of rescinding the offers. So now the offers are reopened. But with this, there was with signing up for Engfrosh, there was a little unofficial camping pre-celebration meet. It was basically just an excuse to party at a campsite for all the people in Engfrosh, but it was heavily unaffiliated with Carleton. There was a massive emphasis on that. You couldn't bring affiliated clothing just so that people knew or people didn't know that it was in any way associated to Carleton. Because there would be a lot of drinking and a lot of mildly irresponsible behavior. But we were isolated from a lot of the other RVs and the public, so it was fine anyways. I think you could be affiliated with Carleton, it didn't really matter. It's just not hosted by the university, and they don't want the people who are hosting this party don't want it to fall back on them and Carleton University to basically sue them. So I understand that. That makes sense. Went to that, and it was a little. uh, Basically, I'll give a brief overview of it. It's basically 3 days. So starting Friday, we'd go to the campsite, and we would stay there until Sundays when we had to leave. Sunday at 11 a.m. we had to leave the campsite. So luckily, I got my friend Kevin was able to get me someone who carpooled all the way from Toronto and passed through my town to pick me up and drive me to Carleton. And Then we had like a yeah, we had a little bit of a chat while we were on our way. And then we got there relatively early, 1 hour before they asked us, 1 hour after they asked us to the earliest we could show up. And yeah, quickly signed in, said hi to Kevin. I knew nobody. I only knew Kevin, my friend Kevin, who was one of the administrators of the party. So was I felt out of place, a little bit awkward at first, and then it it quickly became a friendly atmosphere where I felt like I could foster friends. You know, people throwing around frisbees or footballs or passing around a soccer ball, and then it's like, hey, pass it to me. What's your name, by the way? So on. And so I was able to learn a few people's names the first day, and man, it was a lot of fun. I have to say, Saturday, everyone was there by then, and it was a lot of fun talking to people. It it was pretty unique. I don't normally go camping, so it was I generally don't like to go camping just because it's uncomfortable. You're gonna have a bad sleep and you're not at home in an air conditioned house and there's no computers, no technology basically. But what made it really nice was just hanging out with people. Yeah, as I said, I met a bunch of people, learned quite a few names. I pride myself in being able to memorize people's names. So I guess you could say I'm the only person that's good with names. Usually, there's some names that I forget, but usually I'm pretty decent with names, with remembering people's names and how to pronounce them. Mm. Yeah, we went to the beach, which was I was looking forward to that. I for some reason I've had this beach fever where I just really like swimming. Maybe not even beach. It's just swimming in water. Like I'll have fun in a pool, just swimming. It does get boring after a few minutes, but with a friend I could stay there for hours. So, yeah, beach, man, what else? Frisbee, beach volleyball. A lot of people. There was a lot of drinking at nighttime, but I didn't bring any beer. I don't like beer. I don't like alcohol in general. Though I found that I like coolers. If there's any alcohol that I'll take, it'd be coolers, just because they don't taste like alcohol. But I didn't bring any coolers. I didn't bring any alcohol at all, and I don't feel like it just felt awkward to mooch off of other people, especially since I didn't know them, especially since they weren't my friends. So I was fine being sober the entire time while everyone was just drunkenly around me. hmm And I guess this is the biggest thing was on my mind. That is on my mind is I met a girl Saturday. I met multiple people, of course. I don't know why I keep on repeating that, but I met this girl Saturday night. Honestly, it might have been Friday night. No, I think, yeah, it was Friday night. It was Friday night. So um, we had this activity that we would do in our our assigned groups, and she was supposed to be part of it because she couldn't find her group. But then in the end, she didn't join us, and we did our own thing. And we got second place for doing a little skit, a little funny skit with our group. But she didn't join us because she technically wasn't part of the group. And I was just after we finished our skit, I was just awkwardly standing there because I didn't know anybody. I was just like in the conversation but not saying anything because there wasn't they would speak about other people that were at Carleton, but I don't know anybody. It was so awkward. It's a little frustrating because I can insert myself in a conversation, but when it's things that I don't know, when like when it's people that I don't know, things that I have no knowledge of, it's so hard. And that's not just me. It's basically everyone. You have to just shift the conversation at that point to something that everyone knows. Maybe I should work on that, but it's also on part on them because they and understandably they weren't trying to include me. They didn't have to though. It's it's a Carlton meet, so you don't worry about me. I'll just awkwardly stand there and listen to you talk about some random friends. Oh well, I noticed that she wasn't participating in the conversation, and so I was thinking like, okay, well, she seems kind of cute, and I might as well talk to her. So, oh yeah, I while they were having their main conversation, she was off to the side. That's part of the reason why I wanted to talk with her because I could have my own separate conversation. I could actually talk. So I went over and said, "Hey, you should have joined us for the skit." "Oh, I'm not in the group though. I'm technically not." "Yeah, but we were missing exactly one person. You would have been perfect. It would have been great." "Oh, really? Oh, that's too bad." Okay. "Yeah, so what's your program?" Just like random conversation after that. And then we just kept on talking, and at some point we joined the larger group, and then we diverted away from it, and then we just sat down together in lawn chairs, just us. And we just kept on talking. It wasn't too clean of conversations because it was more like superficial talk, small talk. I don't know anything about her. I just know that she's from Carleton. And same with her, she doesn't know anything about me. She just knows that I'm going to Carleton. Like she didn't even know that I was a transfer student, basically. And so I mentioned that, and I mentioned my whole life story, basically. No, but just I just mentioned like a bunch of things that I could branch off of. And unfortunately, there was nothing that really stuck with conversations, especially with guys. This is why I say it's so easy to have a conversation with guys, is because there's bound to be something that I do that that another guy does. For example, I might briefly mention that I've played chess, and then the guy will be like, "Oh yeah, I've been on my chess grind. I've been working on that, and I've been watching Hikaru Nakamura and Magnus Carlsen. Have you seen the chess tournament?" Things like that, and it's like, whoa, I'd love to talk about all of this because I'm into chess. I was into chess, and I have the experience, somewhat the experience to talk about things like this because I've researched it. I've been interested in this, which happened in the camp, the camping. It just happened with another person, a guy, of course, and we ended up playing chess too. It was a lot of fun. With her, I would mention I played music. Do you play music? No, I tried piano. Nothing really happened from it. Oh, okay, cool. Hmm. now what? Like it was just so hard to start conversation. It was hard to latch on to anything, and I don't think we really latched on. It was more like giving context to who I am, saying I'm in computer science. Like, what's your program? How did you like this? We talked about COVID briefly, and since she's the same age as she is 1 year older. Yeah, I think she's 1 year older. Pretty sure she's 1 year older. So I asked her what her experience with COVID was because I really enjoyed it, and I was talking with my friend on the podcast since it was so recent on my mind. I just mentioned it, and I thought it was it was somewhat topical. Can't remember what else we talked about, but like I don't know why, but I really liked her. It could have been just because I thought she looked pretty. It's weird though. Like she had acne, like decently bad acne, but she was just like really. I found her really really attractive, and on top of that too, like I'm looking for a conservative woman, a, a girl who's more. How do I put this? More respectful of herself. A girl that's not going to be wearing Lululemon leggings. I'll say, I guess, if you catch my drift, if you understand what I'm trying to say. And the day after, Sunday, I see she's wearing a long skirt, and it's like, whoa, okay, so she's actually like really traditional and nice. And my impression of her my first impression of her was that she was a really nice person, and she wasn't provocative in terms of outfits, and I'm gonna have to come up with a word or a phrase to describe the girl that I'm talking about. Like the super popular girl who's got like 2 million plus snap score. That kind of girl. That was definitely not her. That she was the opposite, basically, is what I'm trying to say. So really cool. Oh yeah, and as we were talking on Saturday night, it natu- it naturally came up where it was like, oh hey, there's a dance tomorrow. What I can't remember how I said it. It wasn't a question. It was like maybe it was a question. It was something like it'd be cool if you came to the dance with me. That's what I said. Something like that. And then she didn't answer, and I waited. I waited a few seconds, and she didn't answer. She just like looked straight ahead because we were sitting side by side. She just looked straight ahead and didn't look at me, and I was like, okay, if you want. She still didn't say anything. I'm like, okay, let me change the conversation because that must have been really awkward for her. Not really too much for me. I mean, it was a little awkward for me, but I feel like I don't feel that awkwardness. I feel like I can do a lot of things and not get too awkward about it, or feel too regret it. So that wasn't something that I regret, but it was still probably awkward for her. I think now, looking back at it, She probably thought that she was probably just looking for a friend, just looking for someone to talk to. Meanwhile, I'm trying